Named Chris, and on the last aspect of the video, we stopped with receiving an email that showed the users from Dynamics 365, and we're going to now work on this assign user selected. So as you can see here, when I clicked on it, the target is not set or not in URL format. So what happens is we need to set this up so when we click this, it sends it and we can actually execute something on the next level. So what I've learned in the past is this is going to be a second flow. So what I'm going to do here is create a new tab. But we're going to create a new tab, and we're going to have a request when an HTTP request is received. Click here. When the HTTP request is received, what we're going to then do is update Dataverse. So again, update a row. Now, this is updating the row, but not only can we update the row, we can also email the person. We have their email address, and we can actually even update and what we'll do is we'll update the adaptive card so that it doesn't allow the person to reselect and re-update. I say change the user again. So when you use the HTTP request is received, you'll notice that it's blank here. The URL is generated after. So what we want to do in here is put some variables. Now, I've got a little template here. And this is very helpful, by the way, if you do this. But what I'm going to do, what I want to pull in is the lead ID. And you can just take a look. I'll keep this up here. The lead ID, the properties. With that, we're going to do the lead ID, the full name, and the full name value. Now, I'm going to end up only using 2 of these, and I'll show you how to pull them in. Actually, I think I used all 3. But then once we do that, I want to come back down, and we're going to update the leads table. And we're going to have a row ID here. Now for this, just brief, I'm going to do this. We're just going to toss in a value so that we can save. The reason saving is important is because the URL won't generate until after we save. And we'll come back and change that full name value in the row ID. But once I save, now all of a sudden we have a full link that will send information to this request. So I'm going to copy this link. Now there's a couple things we'll have to do in here. We're going to go back to the original, and in the adaptive card area, we have actions. This is where what we're going to do is change a few things. In this actions, we want to add a couple things. We're going to put it back, and then we're going to post. Brackets are empty. We've got the title, we've got the type. We're going to do a URL. This is where we're going to paste in the URL that we just had. Now, I'm going to point out very quickly, this is going to be blurred out during the video that you're watching. But at the end, very important, and I did another video on this that's going to be posted. You want to put the ampersand at the end. If you don't, it won't pick it up. I put an ID, and sign user, and then some headers. There's one other thing after this, but I'll show you afterwards. I'm going to put some headers, bracket. Okay. We're going to name. We're going to keep the value of authorization blank. Out, comma. We're going to do another name. Content type. Application / JSON. Save that. Let's make sure it's all operational. Good. Now the one thing that I'm going to add after this now is a body, and the body is actually what's going to be sent into the I call it the receiver, into this the received flow. So in the body here, and this is a very tricky. This is why I'm pointing this out. It's very tricky to do, and I'll show you a tip. But we got body, and I'm gonna put blank. That's it. For now, the blank is important. Well, let's make sure it's outside of the brackets. Sorry, that would blow up. We're gonna do that. Now this body is nice because we can go into the designer template, select our user here, it's not the right spot, and I understand that. Let's I'll show you. Preview mode. It's failing on me. Doesn't like what I did there. So let's copy the card. So what's nice about this is we can copy all of this text here, and paste it in. Again, that is right there. Okay, so we've got that. We've got the type, inputs. So in this body, what's very tricky about this is having spaces and controls. So what we can do I'm just going to open up another sample because copy that, not select everything, but we're going to copy, open designer. So it's a data area, but I want it to somewhat close to the data area, I guess I should say. We're going to add another button. Action. So I think that's what it is. HTTP, okay. Normally what we can do is in here we can edit the body, but we're just going to edit right in here. Now it's going to be tricky because we need to have a certain pattern. Every time you would have like, I say a double quote, you need to have a slash double quote. So what I'm going to do here is select over, pull over a value here. Hopefully people can see this. Now, the choice set.title is not necessary. We're going to actually remove that one. But here we have a lead ID, and we've got the full name value. Now to get the selected value from the dropdown of the choice set, that's where we do the two swiggly brackets, the open ones, choice set.value, and then the two ending closing ones. I like it. Okay. So what we can do is we're going to hit save. Now, what we have in the other flow, so this is ready. Now, what I'm going to do here is get rid of this. Put this value in there. The row ID is actually the lead ID. And then down here, what we're going to look at is owner. And we're going to change the owner to full name value. Now remember, there was the value in the title. The value was actually the ID. The title was, or the, sorry, yeah, the full name and the value in the title within the choice. Within our output here, we had the full name title and we had the value. So when I pull over the value, it is the user ID, which is what the system is going to want. So we can hit save here. Now, once we do this, we don't want the person to be able to select change the person's name again. So from here, we're going to add a new step, and we're doing another compose. Both compose wrong, but it still came up. Good job. And I changed this one to compose. And this input, we're going to make it very simple. We're just going to do an adapted card with a body that says the lead has been assigned, thank you. Nice and simple. And if you wanted to make something like that, again, it's a new card, creating blank, and just putting in like a text box. Something along that. You can see right here, very quick. And you can actually copy the payload. Now, how do you post this? Because the responsive card is just to compose. To do this one, what we want to do is have a response. We're going to do premium response. It's going to be 200, and then inside of the header, this is where we have to change it to, it's going to be card-update-in-body true, and the body is going to be the output. So we're going to save this. I'm going to go back to that email. Now, the reason I'm going to delete this one and we're going to regenerate it is because this user selected, again, when this was generated, didn't have that URL. We'll delete this one. We're going to test. Okay. Now we're going to have this. Just received the email. Got the user. I'm going to select my name. Assign user. Please try again later. Remote endpoint, and landed it in there. Okay, so we have to figure out why. I have a feeling this error is because of the body. So let's go back to here and take a look at why this is off. And to make it simple, what I'm going to do is pull over from one that I've done before. Again, this one is very finicky. I'm throwing in the choice set.title as a test. Again, if the value is not there, it's just going to be the value, and I'll show you that in a second. So at this point, we're going to have to generate again. No big deal. There we go. Okay, so something else seems to be off here. And we'll see, did this run? Okay, let's go back to, saved it multiple times. My flows. Go to here, see if it's being executed. So it failed twice there. Okay, so let's look. So we got the lead. Okay, so it's running through. We got the lead, we got the thing. Resource not found for the segment provided in the URL. Okay. Okay. So a trick. So what's happening is our original flow is working. It's our current flow. What I realized when going through, and I found this on an article, is because it's a lookup, the full name value of the owners, it is actually doing a lookup. So what we have to do is surround this with system users. Be sensitive, and you have to find the entity. There is a very good article out there by a gentleman. Let me just find it real quick. The browser will work quick. Yeah. Lin Zaw Win. Here's a link. So this is where we have to find the lookup. So utilizing that article, we need the system users to look up the value. Now what's nice, I say nice, but when we're in here, what we can do, because that failed, we can do a test. Do the test on the second one. Receive HTTP. And the reason it failed is because it's not pulling back at this point. So what we're going to do is do this entire thing again. So let's go through. But we noticed that it did work. Run a test. Okay. Email came in that quick. It's like there. something went wrong again. Okay. Let's look at this actionable message. So that ran successfully. I think it's because of the 5.0. It will run, but it's not going to be. So I'm going to change that. Pull up the other one. I have to go back to the 1.0 because I pulled it off of the system. It went to the 5. So if we come back here, let's do this test again. I love how so quick it is. Go. The lead has been assigned. Thank you. So as you can see, by having the adaptive cards and eliminating the need for the person to log into the system, we reduce potentially any errors or timeout. Like I say we make it efficient, effective. As you saw within the demo here, there are some spots that are going to be tricky. I'm trying to put those out into tips and tricks, but if you run into any hurdles, please let us know. But that was an actionable message to Outlook, pulling and updating Dataverse. This is some guy named Chris. Have a great day.